Saloum. Saloum is a Senegalese-French crime horror thriller. Wow, that is a lot to unpack right there. It follows a trio of mercenaries nicknamed the Hyenas of Bangui. Cool. Their latest mission is to take a Mexican drug lord in a suitcase filled with gold to Guinea-Bissau. I know I'm pronouncing a lot of these probably wrong, but just be a little forgiving here. But they have some trouble with their plane and have to make an emergency stop at a resort near Saloum Delta in Senegal. For those who are not familiar with African geography, and I know that I'm not, the whole time I was watching this I was wondering why the movie is called Saloum. Saloum is a big river, and it does play a significant aspect of the movie. I'll be spoiling this one, so sit back, relax, because it's time to get spooky. The movie starts off pretty solidly, introducing our trio, Chaka the brains, Rafa the muscle, and Minuit the spirit, I guess. And they're retrieving a Mexican drug lord and a suitcase filled with huge bars of gold. As they are flying to drop off both, they realize that they are leaking gas and they have to make an emergency landing in Senegal near Saloum. They make their landing, stash the gold, and head to a nearby resort to grab supplies and bounce. While at the resort, they try to play it as cool as possible, but there is this mute deaf chick who knows who they are and she wants to go with them, but Chaka is like, if you say a single thing, bitch, we will kill you. So they play it cool, trying to mingle with the resort and are able to get the information to get the supplies that they need to get out of there. But Chaka reveals that he knows the owner of the resort and the place really well because he was a child soldier kept there and he escaped. And the sweet resort guy was the one who kept him and branded him there.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bah! Bah!
The team figures out that it was actually Chaka who self-sabotaged the plane so that they would be forced to land here so he could have his little revenge plan come to fruition. I don't know how he could have planned this, but he is the brains of the team, so I guess I gotta let it slide. But the second the resort owner dies, the horror begins.
Finally.
Although it's more horror in quotes.
You disappoint me.
Yeah, so apparently the land is cursed and now the last servant of the evil spirit that rules the land is dead, the resort host. The curse is now unleashed upon it. Sounds cool, right? Problem is that all the curse stuff happens in the middle of the day and outside in the open. So right off the bat, it's kinda eh. So mainly the spirit has these, I don't know, servants that take this kind of figure shape. Some of them have horns and you can kind of see like most of their body or what, I don't really know. They are mostly covered in like a swarm of flies or something. Anyways, if you hear their whispers or spells, you get this curse that makes your body just flip out and starts bleeding internally and you just spew it all out. Some people go for the supplies while the others just try to stay alive. We find out that the host was still up to his child soldier roots and he kept a room filled with like 20 or so kids as sacrifices for the evil spirit. So they set them free, and we also learn from some convo that our trio have the reputation of bad guys but are actually pretty decent character-wise. They just own their reputation to keep their threat level high. So Minuit is able to calm the spirits for a bit and Chaka and Rafa give him a mercy kill. You can tell that they're actually really close as a team. Everyone else in the resort gets killed except for Chaka, Rafa, and the deaf girl. They're able to fight back a bit against the spirits, and I'll address that in a sec. And the three of them are able to get on a boat and get away, but Chaka gets pulled into the water by a zombie spirit hybrid of the host that kept him as a child soldier, and the movie ends with the beginning talking about how a river is like revenge. There should be another more frequently used category for a movie like this, and that Senegalese-French movie. Supernatural. Meaning there are supernatural aspects of the movie, but it doesn't try super hard to scare you, so people who want to look for a horror movie to watch don't get duped. I think the movie would have been better if they just focused more on the crime drama or just did the horror better. If they wanted to do the horror better, first, make it happen at night. Second, if you're gonna have some kind of physical bodies for your spirit soldiers, don't make it so people can like sneak up to them and knife them. It just doesn't really fit for a spirit type entity. If this were a more physical type monster like a possessed man or a zombie or something like that, then yeah, stealth knife kills are totally fine. Also, with movies involving spirits and curses, you typically have characters who doubt the existence of it, but that doesn't happen in this movie or in Senegalese-French. The second a curse or whatever is brought up to the main characters, they're like, ah, right, of course. What? Just like that, you accept what's going on? Okay. This was my first African horror movie, and that got me a bit excited for it, but it was a letdown when the horror actually started, which is a shame because it has plenty of the right parts for me to like it, and I think it's a perfect example of what happens when you don't fully invest into your story's theme or themes. Like, think Predator. First half, action hero type movie. Second half, survival horror sci-fi. And when it transitions, it really jumps in with both feet. And that's all I gotta say about Saloum. Next up, Lovely, Dark, and Deep.
Are you